5, 4, 3, 2.
Crank it, Jerry.
Welcome to Into the Wild, the official podcast of the Washington Wild Pigs.
What do you hear? What do you say?
It's the best sports podcast in the world. Wait, is that true?
If you're committed enough, you can make any story. I once convinced a woman that I was Kevin Costner, and it worked because I believed it.
Now, here's your host, Kyle Dawson.
Did you get the popcorn?
Back on the Wild Things Baseball Network for our post-game show, as well as our Into the Wild podcast highlights. The final score tonight, Washington 6 and Evansville 3. Let's begin with the scoring. And we'll have to go back to the bottom of the second to do so. It was the Evansville Otters on the board first tonight against Zach Kirby. It's a one-out home run by Randy Bednar that made it 1-0 in favor of Evansville. Zach Kirby's first 4 outs were by strikeouts. He ends up striking out 7 today in 6 2/3, a quality start, 6 hits, 3 runs, 2 earned. We'll tell you about the other 2 runs against him in just a moment. For Washington in the top of the third, Tommy Caulfield stepped to the plate after a double by Ricardo Sanchez and a base hit by Caleb McNeely. That would allow Caulfield to bat with a couple of batters on base, including Sanchez at third, and Caulfield hit a fielder's choice that went 4-6 for the first Washington run of the game, which tied us up at 1 apiece. Here's Caulfield, ground ball to second, and flip to second for 1. Return to first is not in time for the double play, so that will grant Caulfield a run batted in as Ricardo Sanchez comes across. Wild Things would score the next 5 runs, all coming in the top of the 6th inning, and those runs end up being fruitful for the difference for Washington. In the 6th inning, the leadoff man Wagner Lagrange fouled out to first base. Andrew Check would single through the right side. Tyreek Reed would single through the left side to make it first and second for the Wild Things. A wild pitch during the at-bat of Robert Chayka would move both Check and Reed up 90 feet to third and second, respectively, and then Robert Chayka hit a 2-run double to make it a 3-1 Washington lead. Robert Chayka has given the Washington Wild Things a 3-1 lead with a 2-run double. Hoorah! The next batter, Ethan Wilder, who had his first professional hit back in the 2nd inning, other than Clowers, they're all playing today. Wilder grounds it sharply at the right side. That is through into right field. That is the first base hit of the professional career of Ethan Wilder. Would step to the plate and single again, this time a line drive to right field to make it a 4-1 game and pick up his first professional run batted in. Here is the 2-2 to Wilder. He swings and lines it through the right side. Base hit to right field for Wilder. Chayka around third. He is going to score. Throw comes home as Wilder moves up to second base. He advances on the throw, and it is 4-1 Washington in the 6th. And then Wilder and Ricardo Sanchez, who was hit by a pitch later in the inning, would score on a 2-run single with the bases full by Tommy Caulfield through the right side. That was the 5-run inning for Washington that made it a 6-1 game. Pitch to Caulfield. Right side base hit. It's through. Runner from third, Wilder, will score. Sanchez being waved toward home. The throw never gets home, and Sanchez is in to score as well. It is 6-1 Washington on a 2-run single by Tommy Caulfield. Evansville got a run back in the bottom of the 6th inning on an error. It was unearned against Zach Kirby, an error on the throw by Tommy Caulfield that brought Yomar Reyes in to score after he singled in the inning. And then Kirby would be charged to run in the 7th inning on an RBI single by David Mendham, one of his 4 hits tonight that brought home Riley Delgado and made it 6-3. That is how it would finish. Despite it getting a little hairy for Washington in the 8th inning, Frankie Giuliano, who had relieved Liam Pulsifer, hit all 3 batters that he faced. Christian James, though, came on and punched out 2 and got a pop-up to end the 8th inning, which allowed CJ to pull a Houdini act and get Washington out of the threat and keep it at 6-3 headed to the 9th inning. That was when the Wild Things would come up empty in the top of the 9th, and then the Wild Things shut the door in the bottom of the 9th inning. Justin Goose and Brown came on, gave up a couple of singles, but got flyouts to each outfielder in the ninth inning, including the ball by Mike Peabody to center field. It is the final out tonight and gives the Wild Things an 8th straight road win and a 6th straight win this season against the Evansville Otters, completing the sweep. The 0-1 from Goosen Brown is lined in the air towards center field. Ranging in is Caleb McNeely. There he makes the catch. Ball game. Washington holds on to sweep the Evansville Otters for the second straight set between the two and is 8-0 on the road this season. The winning pitcher is Zach Kirby. He is 2-1. The loser in the game is Tristan Harvin. He is going to fall to 0-1 tonight. And the save goes to Justin Goosen Brown. That is his first and in his second opportunity for the Wild Things this year. So Washington goes to 12-5 and drops the Evansville Otters to 5-13. Next up for the Wild Things, a 3-game weekend series in Florence against the Yalls. That series starts with first pitch tomorrow at 7:03 p.m. And we will be on the air probably about 10 or 15 minutes before that, depending on how quickly I can get to the ballpark tomorrow and how quickly I can get set up. We'll see if we can come up with some sort of pregame interview for the broadcast tomorrow, but you'll be able to watch it and hear it or sear it on the Wild Things Baseball Network, because we're done for tonight. I appreciate the patience this week as things and duty called here in Wild Things Park, and we brought this one to you, these three to you remotely at Bosse Field as the Wild Things continue to just dominate on the road, have won 8 straight games to start the 2024 season away from Wild Things Park. They may never want to play at home again at the rate they're going. We'll see how the weekend goes in Florence. We'll catch you tomorrow on the Wild Things Baseball Network from Thomas More Stadium in Florence, Kentucky. Until then, Kyle Dawson saying so long. Thanks for the patience. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. Thanks for being someone who served it on the Wild Things Baseball Network. Good night.